Sheyda, that means your TikTok's about to blow up on Instagram. Sheyda's getting eaten alive in the comment section on one of our videos.
Wait, what?
The men hate me. It was a long talk, but I was basically like, I would love to be a woman and to shut my brain off, but I also can haul a trailer and back a six-wheeled vehicle up. So I need a man who can do the things I can do and do them as good as or better than me. And for me to have requirements and for men to be angry about it is wild. And there's about 200 comments of angry men. It's 200 comments and it's 195 comments of angry men and 5 happy women.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever commented really anything on a post before, unless it's like, yes, queen.
Yeah.
Go queen. Are we?
Oh.
Okay, perfect. That's how we do it all the time. It's fine, guys.
Welcome back to the And Also podcast with your hosts, me, Summery Dean, Sheyda Fasari, and Madeline Guiney. So grab a drink and get cozy. You have now entered the group chat.
Welcome back to the And Also podcast. This episode is a little different and a little juicier than usual. Summer couldn't be with us today, but while she's off living her best life, stepping up to the mic is the one and only Sophia Sansone, our dear friend, our guest's cousin, and a total force in the music industry. As an artist manager and managing partner, she's usually behind the scenes with powerhouse names like Luke Combs, Nicole Combs, and the band Perry. But today, she's stepping out of the green room and into the studio just for us. Now, if you're mildly online or just love a dose of reality TV, you've probably heard of Farmer Wants a Wife. It's a dating show where farmers search for a real love, and yes, emotions run high, competitions run deep, and somehow everyone's hair still looks incredible, which is crazy. Our guest today, John Sansone, fan favorite, TikTok sensation, one of the farmers from the past season, and Claire, the witty dark horse he chose in the end in a twist that had fans doing double takes. Today we're going to be talking love triangles, viral backlash, and what it's really like to build a relationship after the credits roll. Let's get into it. That was a mouthful. Can you guys believe I did that?
Good job.
Almost
Sheyda,
perfect.
Sheyda and I have been discussing the witty dark horse line for the past 2 days.
I love that.
Did you
Going
like
back and
it?
forth on ChatGPT. We're like, does this sound okay?
Alfred.
Yeah.
Witty dark horse.
Yeah, witty dark horse.
Witty dark horse. Add that to your
Putting
Instagram
that in my
bio.
Yeah, just make the about me witty dark horse.
The witty dark horse.
Self-proclaimed.
I think John and I had one rule for today.
What was the rule?
Keep it PG.
Oh,
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh,
I
sensitive.
know it's going to be hard for
Sansones get sensitive. It's fine.
So you've seen the clips.
I've seen the clips. Unfortunately.
Oh, guys.
We're doing our
Okay.
best.
Just so everyone knows, John and Sophia Sansone are cousins. Their dads are brothers. I have known Sophia for 10 years and John almost as long, about 7. He used to come out during college and visit. So we've all have been friends for a very long time. Madeline, obviously. We've all been friends since
Just meeting.
college.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
met
Well,
today.
these two are just meeting. We're just meeting Claire today, but we already adore her. She's stunning. And we're very excited to have everyone on the podcast today.
Yes.
Okay, so I wanted to start with kind of just an intro to what made each of you choose to be on Farmer Wants a Wife.
I know, I just want to butt in here. I know I've watched clips, I think, at least of John talking about how his mom and his sister watch and obviously that. But I think it is a big jump to actually commit to it. So they're not like, oh, well, yeah, I'll do it. But actually saying I'm okay with putting myself out on TV for the world to see. What made you guys want to do that and make the leap?
Go ahead, Claire.
Yeah. Well, what made me want to do it is, I don't know, I was just kind of in a good place in my life. I was happy with my job and my friends and where I live. And I was just kind of waiting for something fun, a fun opportunity. And then this just kind of came. So I decided to do it. But how I kind of got on it, I was auditioning for Love Island. Yeah, for
Wow.
Shame. Real shame. Unbelievable.
for a year. And I really wanted to do it, and then I didn't get picked for it. And that was the season that really blew up. And I was like, oh, that sucks.
What could have been?
Yeah. And then
all
a few
worked out.
months later, the same recruiter called me, and she was like, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. Sorry that you weren't a fit for Love Island. Have you ever heard of Farmer Wants a Wife? And I was like, absolutely not. What are we talking about right now? And she was like, no, seriously, I think you could be a good fit for it. The guys are really great this year. I mean, they've been great in the past too, but the guys are really great and like they're really trying to revamp the show. And I wasn't gonna do it. I talked to like my friends and my mom was like, absolutely not. Like, you can't put your life out there. You'll get a stalker. And so I wasn't gonna do it. And then like 2 nights before, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. And then I called my mom from the airport and I was like, don't kill me, but I'm going on.
I love that though.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out great.
Love
It's
Island
insane
who?
spontaneity. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Hey,
couldn't
Pop,
do
I'm
that
at the
either.
airport. I'm going
I
on a
like-
reality show.
I have to do that in my life.
You'd be sent
Otherwise,
home.
I was gonna say
Throat would be slit.
my father would catch me.
Yeah.
So he'd stop the plane.
It'd be over with.
Be on
My
the wrong
parents would be
way.
like, great, don't ever speak to us again. We don't know you anymore. We'll not be joining you on the show. Hometowns are going to look lonely.
Yeah. Well, Claire's mom even came on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
saw that.
your mom and
your sister.
Sister, yeah. I felt, they're so outgoing. And so I thought they were going to be like a breeze to have on the show. And then they got there and they were so nervous. And I was like, I feel so bad right now that I put them in this position. But they were great.
You don't realize like when the lights hit and the camera hits and you're like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Freeze up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why the alcohol's involved.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And it
loosens
does do
everybody up.
numbers.
What
It does
about you,
numbers.
John?
Well, I got DM'd to be on it. And I was like, I mean, this is ridiculous. My family loves this show. So I showed them and they're like, you have to go on. But then I spent like a month of going back and forth of not wanting to do it. And there was a point where I literally called the producers and I'm like, guys, I'm out. I hate to break it to you. I'm not doing this. And they freaked out. Yeah, they were like calling me and saying like, we can come out there and talk to you. And it's like, all right, well, maybe I'll do it. All right, hold on. And then,
Relax, everyone.
yeah, and then I ended up doing it like, I think it was like 2 weeks before we actually started shooting is when I decided I'll do it.
Oh my God. Oh, they
Oh,
were
wow.
scrambling.
Yeah, yeah.
They were
Because I was just
scrambling.
nervous. I mean, you know, something from the past could come up, or I could say something stupid, or do
Yeah.
something stupid, and
Yeah.
then that'd be the end of it.
Yeah.
But
That was one of the things we talked about all the time when we started a podcast,
Yeah.
for like the amount of things that people have of us.
Yeah.
God knows what's going to come
Yeah.
out. We just all have to be ready to support
Yeah.
when it
Yeah.
happens.
I think the best thing is, like we talked about, a strategy is just ignore it and don't apologize.
Yeah.
But
That's
Yeah,
literally
don't
what I
apologize.
that's what I said. I was
Yeah.
like,
no, you don't.
That's our
cower.
PR strategy too.
Because regardless, even if you do apologize, you're still going to get kicked to the curb.
Well, I
So you
also-
may as well do it with dignity.
When I watched the first episode, I was like, just like, oh God, because I just, and you are so yourself. It's amazing. So I was so proud. I was like, yeah, that's exactly John. Like, that is exactly him.
I bet you guys were nervous though with all the stuff I used to do, Santa Sport Camp and
I was a bit of a
animals
wild
and all that
man.
stuff. Yeah, that would have been bad.
Yeah, but you crushed it.
Thank you.
so the overall reaction from your parents was positive, or your whole family was positive,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
What about I mean, you called your mom 2 days.
Yeah. She's happy that I did it now. There was like still a lot of times after filming that she was really nervous, especially with it airing. She was just really worried that it was going to affect me a lot more than it did. So I think she was just, and also the beginning episodes, I was so nervous, and she was like, it was painful for me to watch you be nervous. But I think my family's happy that I did it now. They're all like, they like John. They liked watching it. So
Yeah, the finale moment when she was like, "What is a woman for?" to you, John,
Yeah.
I was like, "That's a
God.
hard hitting
Oh my God.
question."
I feel like that
love
was the
that.
first time I saw John
gasped.
kind of like sweat a little bit.
I gasped too.
His face, I'm like, I'm so glad they caught it on. He was like,
No, my
Like-
stomach actually dropped there.
I was like, respect to your mom.
Yeah.
That's a real.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a real question. I mean, good for her.
yeah.
she was kind of upset watching that back. She was like, I was kind of kidding. So
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be
But
a
you
big
want to know what?
thing.
You throw dramatic music behind anything,
Yeah.
and it makes it seem like it's way more intense than it
Yep.
was.
And the
Yeah.
pauses and the ums that they kept replaying.
You know, the one thing that really annoyed me on those episodes was like my brother Tim was asking a question. He goes, here's a really important one. And then they like waited and he goes, what do you think of the mustache?
Yeah.
I was just like, God, cut that out. Just get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
It didn't even go down like that. And it's just so stupid. But whatever.
The editing process really changes things up.
It does.
Yeah.
They make things look really, really insane sometimes. And
Yeah.
you're just like, wait, that was like such a nice, normal moment.
Yeah.
And then they made it look like there was a 4-minute pause and everyone was staring at
He's
each other, uncomfortable.
Yes. Oh my God.
yeah. But
It
I
made
feel
me
like-
sound like I had, noodles in my head.
Yeah, but you guys are both so well spoken. Like even during your intimate moments together and the moments with each other's family, I feel like you held it together really well, and just expressed how you were feeling in an eloquent way. I was very impressed.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was a good moment.
Yeah. Claire does good.
I'm gonna go into some questions for John first.
Oh, boy. Okay.
What moment, if any, do you feel like from the show you're still having to defend?
I think picking Claire.
Really?
Yeah.
Has there been
it's
backlash?
unbelievable. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't dive into that.
Okay. I mean, I got to be careful with how I get into this because I get really.
It's okay.
I
get into
heated.
it.
All right. I mean, I don't know. How do I put this in the? I'm not going to go off on a rant.
Well, we were a bit surprised that they like really ran with the whole religious thing on the show.
Yeah.
Because that was like such a small conversation between me and him.
Right. And it was somewhat forced, like you go into these conversations and they give you things to talk about. They're like, you guys should touch on these things and stuff because Claire and I were like friends throughout the whole thing. So we were just playing, we were joking around and having very
great.
casual conversations.
Yeah.
And they're like, guys, none of this is, we can't use this for the show. So why don't you talk about your religion or your morals? And I'm like, all right, whatever. So then
That was fake? I thought that was a good conversation.
we
Well,
like
obviously,
actually had a conversation,
the
but we
prompt
didn't
is-
want
yeah.
to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, why
Because we
would
kind of
we?
knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We knew each other for a total of 3 days. We were talking about getting married. But
Me.
Actually, that sounds right.
So how many kids do you
Yeah.
want?
but the
Cut to the chase. We don't have time.
Yeah, we don't have time for this.
but then they like really leaned into that. So like at the end of the show, it's like I had, they made it look like I had the Blessed Mother versus like a full-on atheist. And I
They
went,
really did. I just
It was
watched the
so
last
stupid.
episode, and that is exactly how it felt. It's
Yeah.
like I'm either choosing someone that aligns with everything, like all of my moral values, and then this girl.
Yeah.
Which I really felt like you guys had a good conversation of we might not have the same like religious background, but we're both good people and we came to the same like ending point.
Exactly.
So why does it matter?
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
kind of beautiful where you're like, we
Yeah.
come from different places, but we respect where each other comes from. And we're going forward knowing that if this continues, we can find a middle ground, which
Exactly.
is really kind of beautiful. And it's surprising that there are people who don't like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the reason they don't like it is because they have this sort of way of living where if you're not
That-
in line with that certain way of living, then you're a devil worshiper. You're not in tune with your religion and stuff. And one thing we always hear, and I hate the word so much now. You're not equally yoked.
Oh my gosh.
Yoked?
That
Oh
is
my God,
all-
Summer
First time
Summer
saying
said that to me the other day. She's like, use it in like a passing expression. I was like, what does that even mean? I've
So
never heard
annoying.
Wait,
that.
guys,
Never heard it
isn't that
until
like
the
a
comments.
gym reference?
No, like,
equally
that's
yoked
what I
is like,
joke
it's
about.
religious
That's
actually.
Like oxen, when they pull like a carriage, they have a yoke
Yeah.
across their shoulders. If like one person's more religious, they have more of the yoke. It's so stupid, and it really bothers me when people comment
competition.
about it. It's like a competition. It's like,
Yeah.
shut
Oh
up.
my
Like
goodness.
defeats the purpose of
Ex-
the religion, like in
Exactly.
general.
Yeah.
It scares people away from religion because, like Claire, for instance, we've been talking about it a lot more lately, and she associated all religion with people like that, which throws people off because if you don't know about it, then there's the difference between Catholics and this religion and that religion, and if you don't know, then you assume that everybody's grouped together with
Yeah.
these lunatics.
Yeah.
So
Catholics
Yeah.
are pretty cool.
Catholics are the best.
Catholics are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty dang cool.
It's actually a Catholic podcast.
Today we are a Catholic podcast. Do you feel like the show got your personality right overall?
I think so. Probably diluted it a little bit for me personally, but Claire.
Yeah, for both of us. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's why we didn't initially get along or like each other super well in the beginning, because we were both nervous and not really being ourselves.
Well,
Because we
obviously.
were just kind of serious and uptight. And then the more it went on, we liked each. What?
Can I tell them about the?
You've already said it, for sure.
No, how about the picture? I've never talked about the picture.
No.
No.
No, yeah, you can.
Well,
So mean.
it's very mean.
Literally.
But after our initial first dates, we all had 10 minutes with each person.
Yeah.
And we would give an interview afterwards of what we thought. And I was like, yeah, Claire's so nice and she's very pretty, but the date was dull. There was not much to it. And unfortunately, they were like, give me your
sweet.
rankings. And I was like,
Give me a minute.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's why I was watching the episodes fairly recently, and as much as I think I would love to go on one, I'm in a happy relationship, but in my heyday, I'm way too sensitive for these shows.
Yeah.
There was a point where, like, just the way you were talking to someone, I was like, I would have been gone. I'm way too, and you didn't even mean it. Sheyda and I were just talking about it. You were talking about someone asked you if you like to slow dance, and you go, sure.
Oh, that came off so bad.
But then she was like, do you want to dance? And you were like, absolutely, I'd love to. And I would have been gone at sure. I wouldn't have said another word. I would have been cut the cameras, mics off, bye. I'm done. So
He doesn't love me.
he doesn't love me.
He's not in love with me.
He's not in love with
Get me out of here.
That would have been it for me. But I think I thought through watching it, the people that kind of were able to withstand the awkwardness of, we're dating in front of 20 people right now, and then we know it's going to go on TV, were the ones that got close enough to like the end, in my opinion. I think there were a lot of people that kind of bowed out more out of insecurity, in my opinion, of like they probably knew they weren't going to be picked, or they felt connections going in a different direction, and then rather than being rejected, they're like, he's just not for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
bailed.
bow out at this
Yeah.
point, which I think is kind of lame, because maybe things could have been different. Obviously they're not, but like if they had stayed and stuck it out, it might have been different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we kind of leaned into the awkwardness. Like we just kind of laughed the whole time, and that made us.
It was very fun to watch because you both were kind of, you could tell you were both being playful and poking fun at like the situation.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
I think is the best way you can handle something like that.
Well, they
'cause-
included the clip of me being like, so do you want to take me on a date or something? And I was fully joking, and they make that look so embarrassing that I said that.
I thought it was cute.
I loved that,
cute.
Claire. It was so bold.
I said that
It
recently.
wasn't even bold. It was like a
it's a great
joke.
thing.
Yeah, it was one of those ones where we were just completely jacking around, and that's
Yeah.
No, that's
And it made the final cut,
Like violent
unfortunately.
music.
same with the hug thing. You know, when we were over there by the water spigot and like fake hugging
yeah.
and stuff. We had to like go redo that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but they're like, I guess this one's better. So
Brutal.
I feel like this is something you only kind of know behind the scenes. Like if you know a Sansone, the humor is dry and everyone's a little sassy. Everyone kind of messes with everyone to see where everyone stands. I think that that's like just
100%.
of the bloodline of a Sansone. And if you don't get it, or you don't get that kind of person, it's hard to understand. If you're just watching, you're like, oh, this guy's an ass, or this
Yeah.
person's.
Yeah.
But it's just you being silly, goofy.
right, like that situation where she asked me to dance. It comes off like I was being a
Yes.
complete
But
prick,
you were
but I
being
was just
silly,
joking
goofy. Yeah,
around.
you
Yeah.
were just messing around.
Yeah.
Even one of the other girls noted it, but the interesting, like, oh, interesting. I was like, that is such a Sansone line. Like I could hear Sophia saying that, like in the back of my head, going, interesting. Like, literally, it's like it has to be in the DNA to have that kind of sense of humor, but it transferred so well
You
when
did.
you know.
Yeah.
When you know them personally, but I think across TV, it can definitely be like, oh my God, this person hates them. Like,
Well, the first episode when they, I forgot her name, but she asked you about if you were a football fan. You're like,
Yeah.
not really. And he's just like, and you're like, I'm assuming you're a football fan, big football fan. I was dying because I was like, it was just your person.
That was Samantha, right?
Yes, that was Samantha.
Yes, I forgot it was, but I was
Yeah.
just dying at the way that John replied because he's just like, I'm a big football fan.
yeah. Yeah.
She came off. Oh, okay, we'll get into it. Actually, we're gonna move on from that one.
It's on the next flashcard. Don't worry.
Well, we're only one in.
So in reality TV, obviously we've never been on one. I was interested because the show felt very fast. Like everything moved pretty quickly. Granted, I was fast forwarding through everyone else's parts besides like the John parts. But how long were you guys filming in like start to finish? Because again, it felt like you guys met and then all of a sudden people were like dropping like flies and it was just the two of you, and you brought the one girl on and then she was gone. Like it all moved pretty quickly. So one, how was that process? And then two, do you guys feel like there were ever moments that the producers were kind of like stirring the pot a little bit between not only you two, but like John and the other girls or you and the other girls? Because there was drama with like other pockets of the girls. You guys all seemed pretty level-headed, but I know John talked about the like kiss with the Samantha that they were like,
Yeah.
and like obviously they probably knew she wasn't going to kiss him, so it was like great for TV. But do you guys felt like there were any moments on your end that happened?
So we have to double check if we can talk about how long we were filming, but it was like,
You can say.
okay, it was like 5 weeks, right?
It was a month.
5 or
October.
Okay.
Wow.
And then it was like really fast in the beginning, like so many, I think it got down to just me and Lily in like, what, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
And then it felt like a really long time, just me and Lily there, right?
did.
When you
Yeah,
say that,
yeah,
like,
it did.
And then that was just like one episode.
Yeah. How much were you guys
So-
like spending time together during those filming?
Quite a lot. So they were
Yeah.
like really strict at the end. Like we didn't see each other off camera or anything at the end.
You and Lily? Or
All of us, I think.
All of
yeah,
us.
okay.
Really?
Yeah,
we
there was
were-
a point. So like they were living, we have, you know, a separate like house that's been on the property forever. And that's where the girls stayed.
It looked like they were living in your garage.
I mean,
You'd like
they were
drop
living
them
above
off
the
at
garage.
night.
No,
It's like a
It's
granny
nice.
suite. Like
Yeah.
they're really nice.
It was nice. It looked like, you know, barracks, but it was nice. I mean, they were sleeping in bunk beds.
what is it called?
No,
Did
the
you guys
ones
go
that
to
look
the,
scary.
The,
Falconmange?
yeah. No,
The
that
ones-
was used for storage.
The ones like
That's a
look,
trip.
Way to go down
the
the
room that
block.
looked scary to me was it wasn't you. It was the other guy with the son.
With a double wide.
Oh, yeah.
With the he had some scary looking bunk beds. I would have. I don't think I could have survived.
No,
in
I
it.
don't
Well-
think, even regardless of the bunk beds, I don't know if I could survive there.
Can we talk about the trailer?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We had such a bad living situation for like 2-3 days. It was like 6 of us because there was like the, what are they
On
called?
the farm.
Wranglers. Yeah. Like Wranglers and then 5 girls in this trailer sleeping in there.
Were the Wranglers the production?
Yeah, so they're
Oh,
like
okay.
the people who like babysit you, essentially. So it was all of us sleeping in that trailer, and we ran out of water. So I was washing my face with like bottled water. I couldn't wash my hair, and then they were expecting us to like go film. And I woke up one day just like I had gotten no sleep because it was freezing in there, and it was like all of us trying to sleep. I was sleeping on like a table, and and then they wake up and they're like, "You need to be ready to film," and I was like, "I need to wash my hair," and they were like, "Sorry, we don't have water," and I was like, just like at my very end of it, like John and I weren't even really like connecting at that point, so I was like, what am I
I don't
doing
even
here?
like this
I
guy.
didn't
Yeah.
even know her name.
Yeah. And all right. And I walked back on the farm, like walked back to this pond and stood there and like cried for a second and then walked back and got ready. So
It's
Sometimes you just
legit
need a
like
good
a
cry.
mile and a
Yeah.
half away from, she like walked a very long
yeah.
way.
I don't know if it was intentional by the
must have been so
producers, but it
frank.
it put us in like very emotional places.
I feel like I've heard that about like even The Bachelor. They're like, we're filming until like 4 a.m.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're asking us like gut wrenching questions. Of course, I'm going to cry behind the scenes because watching it, you're like, this girl's known John for less than
Yeah.
24 hours. Why is she crying that he sent her home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But then you're like, okay, well, maybe the emotions are heightened. I
Yeah.
don't know. But
Yeah, well, they
it-
plowed her full of alcohol and didn't let her sleep for 18 hours.
Yeah,
I'd
and then
be
made her go on
bummed.
camera with
I would have
greasy
fought
hair.
the producer with my bare
meal a
fist.
day
Yeah.
type thing. Yeah. Put
And
on
it's
your
also
tray.
so wild to think about because they're not letting you into the suite, the grandma's suite or whatever the hell it is. I know there's a shower in there.
Yeah.
I would have chucked the water bottle at somebody.
and
I would have
John
been in a
comes
brawl.
beautifully showered set every day.
Yeah. I did
So
very
annoying.
nice.
Like, sorry,
Hair
I smell.
quaff.
Went to my cousin's, had a nice king size bed. Yeah, it's wonderful. Beautiful.
Because of that, I'll always like defend the girls who cried. Even like episode 1, people like kind of made fun of them. Like, you knew the guy for 10 minutes. Like, why are you crying? You don't know what it's like.
You don't know what we've been through.
Yeah, to like pack up like 3 huge suitcases, go through the entire like long day of filming, 2 days of filming, and then get sent home. Like anybody would cry.
Yeah, you're expecting to stay.
Yeah.
You tell all your friends, you expect this
Yeah.
big fancy
Yeah, and then
life.
it's like also the layer of like rejection. Even
Yeah.
if you don't
Yeah.
know the
Even if
guy
you didn't
really,
like
you're just
him.
like,
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, you're like
Exactly.
everyone's gonna get to watch this, and that walk, that long walk, all the girls
Oh
have
my
to take
God.
for the
Yeah.
10-minute. I would have refused.
And by the
actually.
way,
Like,
all-
That would've been it.
you can put me on a golf cart all the way up to the center, and he needs to hold my hand as I get out. I can't be
and all the snakes
walking
online
a mile.
would never do it.
No.
No.
never.
Like
Yeah.
we'd like to
Hidden.
see you guys try and
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1,000%.
Probably can't even put their own
Yeah.
shoes on fast.
No, exactly.
Okay.
They're yeah, exactly.
They're
A lot
definitely
of
I agree with you.
people who hide behind a screen probally wouldn't.
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
never
Wouldn't even come
ever-
Potato
close to
chips
having
on
the
the
balls to
lap.
do
No,
it.
nobody would want them on there anyway.
No.
But,
It'd
yeah.
be disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. At one point, there was a girl that you had on, Kaylee, and she definitely had some big emotional reactions during the show of just like whatever was happening in your process. And you made a comment that was like, that's not necessarily me. I'm not super emotional. But then when we got to your home, your siblings said that you were the most emotional and the most sensitive. So they basically outed you. But I mean,
What?
how emotional are you in relationships? Like, where Where's the line?
And also, before you answer, Sophia, would you agree that in growing up with John that he would be emotional and sensitive?
Honestly, no. I was thinking
What are you talking about?
Yeah, let's get a fact check right here before he answers.
I don't think so.
No. Well, I think where my family was come from, there's a difference between, an emotional
reaction.
Well,
You have a sensitive heart. You're very, very sweet and kind, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't say you're like a baby.
I hate saying it, but like I do have a big heart.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
bad for people a lot.
I hate saying
I do
just want
hate
people to
saying it
know I have
because
a big heart.
I want people sometimes to just.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I think there's a difference, and I think I get pegged for this a lot too, where you're not a bleeding heart. Like, you feel for people, you have empathy for people, you're a caring person, but you are not easily run over, and you're also quick to defend or not afraid to be aggressive, I would say.
Yeah, it's like passionate versus sensitive.
Yeah, I
maybe.
think passionate
don't
is the
know.
correct term.
Yeah.
I think that's-
and I don't think aggressive is the right word. I think it's passionate.
Yeah, passionate.
I actually like passionate.
Yeah.
I'll actually take back I think I've been dubbed aggressive a lot. So
Now, passion can make you aggressive.
Yes.
I
Right.
wouldn't call
I like that.
passionate aggressive.
And I would not
mine
call
was.
John aggressive at all. No. Kind man.
Thank you, Sophia.
So, just out of curiosity, where are you in your birth order of your siblings? Because everyone looks like young and beautiful. I couldn't tell who's the oldest, who's the youngest. Like, your youngest brother, obviously, I could tell because he just looks
Right.
so cute.
Dean, my
He's just
literal
sitting there the
king.
whole time. He's like,
Awful.
yeah, John.
The voice on TV.
He was so cute. He's just like, what do you think you're gonna do? Like, literally so cute. I was obsessed with him. But like, between you and your sisters and your brothers, everyone looks like incredible. I couldn't tell what's the order. So I'm interested.
It was Tim, the bearded one, then me,
Yeah.
then Luke, then Julia, Victoria, Dean.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so
Luke was great. He asked a lot of great questions.
he did.
In terms of those, were the producers like feeding him like what to say?
I really don't know because I wasn't around for those
Okay.
questions, and we didn't really talk about it after. We just joked about how awful our conversation was together.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could tell how like
We were
chopped
dying
up that
laughing.
was.
Yeah.
It was God. We couldn't keep a straight face. But it was funny because online people were making fun of Luke's collar because he had Dan Roma shirt. And they got these big collars.
Oh,
and
no.
like, it's up to his ears and
Oh,
stuff,
God.
which is a great style. I love it. But when he's sitting down, it like sticks up. And
It, like,
everybody's
eats his
why
whole
is his
face up,
collar
yeah.
so high? And we were jacking with him left and right about it.
Yeah.
He was a gem. And so were your friends, I think, that came to the bar too. They
yeah.
also asked great questions. Like, good people all around.
Yeah, Richie loves that
Richie,
phrase.
yes.
Yeah. There's only one steering wheel in a car.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
know. Where did
God.
he get that
I
from?
know, you're a philosopher.
Oh my God. That opened a can of worms.
She had such an attitude too. She's like, I don't care what his
Yes.
friends think of me.
Yeah, so what did you think? That was one of my questions.
Wait, hold on. Wait, he needs to answer the first one because we had Sophia. I guess you did answer it, right?
Yeah, he thinks he's passionate.
Okay, I like
Yeah,
that.
he has passion. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even
I'm gonna be like, I'm so passionate
This is
and
a
I'm
conversation
so
with myself.
sensitive. so it's
Because
this.
you're a male, which is fine.
All right, moving on.
Okay, we kind of already touched on this, but a lot of girls from your group sent themselves home. So do you think that was more of...
I don't know if that's accurate.
Wait, it was just one, right?
No, I think they all sent themselves home, besides the last
Well, that's
two.
what we showed.
That's
How was poor
I don't
John?
know. I believe that's what. Yeah. Send
So
yourself
my
home, that's
question
okay.
was, do you feel like they genuinely left the show because they felt like you guys weren't a match, or because they felt your connections were leading in a different direction
I think,
and they were trying to avoid rejection?
I think early on it was the latter, but later on, once it started to get really close down to just like 3 or 4 girls, I think it was more so just they didn't feel a connection.
Yeah.
Or at least a romantic connection.
Yeah.
Because we were all pretty tight. Like we had a group chat, at least after the show. And then like I'd go over and hang out and stuff because the Wranglers, they would tell me not to, but
They'd given up.
What are they going to do? Hit me?
They'd given up trying to
Yeah,
control.
they gave up.
John was a diva. He broke every rule.
I broke a lot of rules.
Yep.
But I brought him like Savvy B.
Going
and
back to childhood.
Yep.
it was very annoying. But 'cause especially as my own home. Telling me what to do.
Oh my gosh. We were literally so Lily and I, like the last 2 weeks, we were like going kind of crazy. Like we were up on his deck. We filmed up there like briefly. And anytime we saw anybody in his family pull up, we were like, like trying to talk to people. And John just like lived a normal life those days.
Yeah.
It was insane. He could do whatever he wanted. And
You're like, I'm literally in jail right now, just trying to talk to someone besides each other. Like,
Wait, did you have your phones?
No. Lily and I were in the same room, and it was kind of nice, but we just like talked each other to sleep every night until we fell asleep.
Wait, what? That's the cutest thing ever.
I know.
No, it was nice.
Is it weird because you guys were, I always think about this, like it happens a lot on The Bachelor, like the kind of girls that end up at the end are like, I'm happy kind of with whatever scenario happens because they love each other so much, the girls. Did you guys have like a good friendship at the end of it?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
The end of filming, like the night before, it got like a little confusing. Like it was a struggle because we were both rooting for each other.
Yeah.
And we wanted to be happy for each other, but then we knew we'd be hurt if it wasn't us. So I feel like that was only like one day.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we just like never really even talked about it. Like we just kind of talked about anything else. So.
Besides the fact that you're both dating the same guy.
Yeah. Or like we bonded and like kind of making fun of John.
I love that.
In like a nice way.
Yeah.
But, like,
Yeah.
But that's what friends do about the men in their
John
lives
needed it
anyways.
'cause he was being a diva.
I guess you're welcome for the wine, and the pasta, and the movies,
Well,
and the flip phone, and the cameras. Sorry, I'm getting carried away.
Did you sneak them flip phones?
I gave him a flip phone. Yeah.
I love that.
I never saw it. That was never in my hands.
I love that. You want to do the next one too?
No, I don't have another one.
Did your family know who you were going to pick? That one.
Oh yeah. Did your family know who you're gonna pick? Were they surprised?
Yeah, the night before I talked to him about it.
Did
Not
they help
like we
with the
had a long
decision, or were you
conversation.
you'd already decided?
I'd already decided, but I think they would have been, happy or fine with either way. But I think when I told them Claire and stuff, they really got pumped. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How nice.
Sure.
Soph, do you want to ask a couple of questions? Sure.
What if you asked about like if Claire knows about you would like shoot us in the basement when they were soft nuts?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can ask some of your
boy.
own questions too if you have those.
John,
Yes.
this is really cool that I'm interviewing you. I've never interviewed on a podcast.
And you're
before.
doing great.
Very fun.
And I don't think I've been on one ever. But
Change it.
Wow.
What?
So we'll change it. You'll be as a host.
Too much to say. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. John, is there something that you wish people really understood about you that you don't feel like was portrayed maybe on the show, or that you just wish people knew about you?
Maybe, I don't know, just thinking about like recent stuff. I would say maybe that I'm Catholic. I'm a Catholic. Yeah. I'm not,
Shout out
I
Pope
love
Leo.
Jesus and everything, but I don't think it was portrayed that I was Catholic.
Yeah.
Roman Catholic.
Why do you think a lot of the also criticism on your demeanor comes from women?
Yeah, it does.
How do you feel about that?
It's justified, I would think. I also don't understand the issue, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Do you?
What do you
Speak from a
mean?
woman's standpoint. Is my demeanor problematic?
Can you give me something specific? You never like outright offend
Sarcasm.
me.
I think you're very
No.
direct and to the point, and that's why I love you. That's why people love you. Like, there's no guessing who John is. You're gonna get exactly what you see, which I love. I think it's very authentic in a world that people are just but not being themselves because they're
Right.
trying to I don't know, be politically correct or be this or be that, and you're just like, nah, I'm John. Like, this is exactly who I am.
Yeah.
I think that women have had issues with how you want a traditional relationship. I think that's
Oh,
maybe
that's
where
what we're
that comes
talking
from.
Oh,
it.
yeah.
But and we've
Shoot
talked
me.
about it on this podcast a lot because I think the three of us want traditional relationships. I think most of the women in our friend group want traditional relationships, want to be stay-at-home moms. That's something that we all.
It's odd that it's looked down upon.
Yeah.
And it's
I want
odd
kids.
that
I want to get married, and I want to be a homemaker. Like, I don't. My mom
Sounds
was,
like
and
you were
she's
gonna be
a
in prison.
superwoman.
yeah.
But I don't, and I understand people who want to have jobs and have a career.
Yeah.
And I have a career.
Yeah,
but
It's about
Yeah.
the
You're a
option.
badass.
Like
Yeah.
being able to
Exactly.
do either,
yes,
like
or
that's-
both, or
Yeah,
whatever you
yeah.
want.
For sure.
But I don't think one's greater than or less than the other.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I want my
clear,
husband to
it's
be
all
the
jobs. Like being a
Breadwinner.
stay-at-home mom is a full-time job. It's a 24/7 job.
It's the most important job.
It's the most important job.
By far.
And
They're raising the next generation of human beings in this country.
I think women look at other women odd for saying it outright and being like, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. That's a goal for me. And I think, unfortunately, when men say, I'm looking for a woman who would enjoy that or who would be open to that or who's looking for that, they get crushed. And I think maybe that's where, unfortunately, that comes from, which was a little bit of that moment, I think, when your mom was like, well, what is a woman for? Because I think she felt fear for you in that moment.
Yes,
but I think when she understood that John wasn't like trying to, put you in a cage, it was just like, it was just like, I want, my kids to have their mom around every day. And I want a traditional relationship. It was, she relaxed when you had such a sweet answer to that
she
question.
liked John a lot. I feel like they didn't include that much.
I think that was very disarming. His response was very disarming.
Being a home...
Guys, Carmen Sansone is here, sister to Sophia, and another cousin to John. Very scary woman with champagne in her hand.
Drinking out of a chalice. A goblet.
When you guys were talking about what you were just talking about, I also think that a lot of people that are in the TikTok comments and everything, they probably are married to men that lack masculinity.
Oh, no.
And then they need their masculine energy and they're losing their feminine energy. And I think John is old school, has masculine energy that these women are honestly jealous of, which is why they're having the mad comments.
There she goes.
That's an outstanding.
There she goes.
Also, being a homemaker is a full-time job. So.
It's not only is it a full-time job, like there is no PTO, there is no I'm sick, I don't feel good, I want to sleep in. There's nothing. It is 2 a.m, it is 4 p.m, it is 7 a.m, it is whenever that kid is moving away, even when you're sleeping. Like my little brother and his wife just had their first baby and they're pregnant with their second. Like, I slept in the bed with Madison, my sister-in-law, when they came home, and she didn't sleep. Like, she had just gone through 36 hours of labor and didn't sleep, and she basically hasn't slept for the first year and a half of this kid's life. Like, she is, that's a full-time working woman. Like, you can say whatever you want about moms, but that's a full-time job, and I think men like John respect that, and they want that for their children, because that's also a very special thing to be able to have.
Yeah. Well, I respect it, and I honor it, and I'm like... half jealous of it because of how important of a job it is.
Yeah, and I think that really came across genuinely, which is frustrating because I think a lot of people probably didn't watch the show and just saw clips
100%.
of you and your responses and ran with it, because anyone that watched the show heard like your answers and then kind of the follow-up of you backing it up behind it of what else you were saying. Like you genuinely, like you said, want not getting emotional, I swear. You want to honor, and you're so respectful about it, and I think that should be praised rather than like hated on.
Yeah. Well, the unfortunate thing about it, I think it falls into this problem of like social identity. It's like if you're a part of this class, or if you're part of this gender, or you're part of this whatever, then you can't have an opinion on anything else. You have to like have an opinion on your own thing, and then it's just kind of contradictory, because then everybody's like, oh, we're all equal. Well, are we all equal in certain things, or can we say certain things? I mean, we can have an opinion on anything. I think you don't have to be a certain person or class or gender to have an opinion on stuff. But I'll stop there.
Yeah.
No, I love that.
Before we get carried away.
My mom was getting a lot of negative stuff too on Facebook specifically, like
really
saying that she was hating on like stay-at-home moms, and that was totally taken wrong, because like she had a stay-at-home mom, she loved it. She just worked a job. She's a college professor. She worked a job where she could be home with us a lot. So I think her concern and like why she brought that up is because I've never said like I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I've never said that to her. I've always like really admired her and her career and kind of wanted to do a similar thing that she did. So I think her concern was like, I don't want her to change for someone.
Yeah.
So that's what the conversation was. It wasn't like working mom versus stay-at-home mom. Like that wasn't what it was at all. So.
I didn't take it that way. Just
No.
She just wanted what was best for you.
Yeah.
She just wanted to make sure that John was there for the right reasons, and that John respected you
and supported you in anything you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Which is wonderful. Ugh, people are so sensitive.
Yeah.
Sophia, do you want to take the next one too?
Yes. What's the wildest DM that you've received since the show aired?
Okay, easy answer. This absolute psychopath asked me to send her a video of my thumbs.
What?
Because I have insane hitchhiker thumbs. They're effed up
Wait, what are hitchhiker thumbs?
when they do this. Yeah, see, you're sicked out. Yeah.
Ooh, that's
But I guess the lady liked it, so she was like, "Will you send
Wait,
me a
did she
video?"
see that on the show and was like, I want that?
I made a TikTok
TikToks
really early on about like,
okay.
you know, like here's my phone.
Well, ma'am, you've seen it here today. Get a
there's
close
my-
up
Yeah.
of those.
I do a thing where you go like,
Can you
or the worm.
can you say how much she offered?
15 lousy bucks.
Oh,
Wait, she
kidding me?
offered money?
Well, I told her, I'm like, you gonna pay me? And she was like, yeah, 15. I was like,
no. If you want both thumbs, it's gonna be at least
yeah,
100.
at
honey.
least 100 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I like
100
that.
of them.
But she's like, can you do it? Can you like put it on a table and like push down?
And that came from a woman?
A woman.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's really
specifically.
odd. I
Oh,
feel
she
like
wanted like specific.
Oh yeah.
She was choreographing the thumb
Yeah.
video.
Yeah. Yep. She wanted dim lighting and music and yeah.
Exactly my point about the
She had
people
a
on the internet.
playlist that she
Yeah.
sent.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Now, Claire, what about you?
Oh boy. Yeah. What about you, Claire?
I haven't gotten anything that crazy. I think it's a different audience, honestly.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
But
Well, have you gotten any mean ones? Because I
Yeah.
feel like that is the craziest thing to me is that people are, they don't realize that there are actual people behind the phones. Like, they're just like, you're a fucking loser. Like, just saying the meanest, cruelest things
Yeah.
to people so offhandedly, like responding to stories like, go die. And I don't understand that, like where that comes from, but I feel like it's become so normalized that they feel so comfortable doing it. I absolutely love when anyone like has a small following or a big following is like, oh, here's Janice again, and reveals their whole
yeah.
profile. And they're like, she's going on a tear telling
Yeah.
me I should go die. Like, I love that because they should be called out. That is absolute insane behavior for people to be doing, and they need to be exposed.
Yeah.
We've been having that a lot lately. One for the video I described earlier today, and there was one like a week ago that was a clip from the podcast, and it was a royal we moment that I was talking like of myself, but it was meant to be for everybody. And we were talking about this, I don't know, with somebody or we were talking about just trust and relationship with phones. And I was like, if there's intimacy, whatever. And it was more the context of like mutual trust. Like I've only been through a phone twice in my life, but I was like, it was more about men who are weird and don't have trust. Like,
Yeah.
but there's been like 4 or 5 million views on it, and they are the men are like,
Distraught.
you're disgusting.
yeah.
I would never, I'm leaving you. I'll never be with a woman who wants to be. And like, I just grew up in a household. My parents have been married for 30 years. Like, there just isn't a password or and I, like, everyone knows my password. I don't care. There's nothing I have said or done or it is in my phone that I wouldn't share with everybody because I'm not a secretive, nasty person. But the world has been so cruel.
Yeah.
So I guess, has there been any of that? Like, just nastiness?
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah. Well, you'll post TikToks and then all of a sudden one will just hit like a really weird side of TikTok.
Yeah.
And then it really takes off and it just kind of comes out of nowhere. Like our date talking about religion for like 2 sentences like really took off. And I got some crazies in those comments, but it kind of just like...
You have to just be thick-skinned about
We
it.
like it.
Yeah, kind of, but...
It's engagement. I mean,
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Like, it literally, that is the unfortunately kind of the best way to blow up is being a little controversial because it just sends people to the moon in your comments.
Yeah.
And they're not only commenting, they're responding to other people's comments.
Sending it.
They
Yep.
love it.
Yeah.
And that's like the thing with these videos of Sheyda is like literally the men are arguing amongst themselves, and I'm like,
yeah.
paying our bills, bitches.
Just sitting up
People
there
are
and watching.
fighting with each other in one of my comments about my eyebrows. It's like,
What about them?
they were really thin on the show. And looking back, they looked crazy. Maybe you guys didn't notice, but they looked crazy. John told me. So
I didn't say they look
I
crazy.
did.
Cancel
I
them.
did.
Cancel them,
I just said
girls. Get them.
She's absolutely stunning.
let's talk about his demeanor again.
I actually did make a comment that a lot of the girls in John's group had very thin eyebrows, but it wasn't like a negative thing. It was just like they can all pull off like the 90s
The
brow.
thin eyebrow, 1,000%.
I can't pull off the thin brow.
Yeah, no.
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 I would be nude.
I would look
Don't try
awful.
that.
I did not look good.
I thought you looked great.
No, but
At least you know you can be versatile. If
Yeah.
they come back, we'd be screwed.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't go back.
One of the comments or one of the TikToks I posted, there's like, I don't even pay attention anymore, but there's like 6 different arguments going on about like religious freedom, politics, animal rights. I'm like, how'd you guys get into
Yeah.
this stuff? All I did was sing a Billy Joel song. Makes no sense.
They ran with it.
Yeah.
But you know what?
And I'm like, all right, keep going.
yeah.
No, and they will.
It's getting
But
the
like
views
that's people who don't have lives.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's old women. Like the old women are nasty.
Yeah.
Really?
Nasty.
See, you get the old women. I get the mean 20s,
internet
30s, 40s
Yeah.
men.
Trolls
who are-
Yeah.
in their mom's basement.
And they're doing everything they can to destroy me. They're calling me. They're saying that I'm in my late 40s and alone forever.
Don't worry, I'm going to war for Sheyda in the comments. I spent like 2 hours the other day just literally responding to all of these comments. I'm like, you're a loser.
I've decided for my well-being, I can't read them. Like, I just
Yeah.
can't read them because it is kind of crazy. If you read like 15, 20 of them, you're like, okay, like you go to a dark, not a dark
not
place
natural.
mentally.
No,
it's
it's
not
not
naturally to
Yeah.
read that kind of stuff about yourself all the time. So I'm like, I just cannot engage. So Madeline has taken on the responsibility
Putting
of
the team
Very
on my
nice.
back.
I cannot
Yeah.
look at comments.
No, I
Ever,
can't.
Even
If you
So
guys
if I
need
love
me,
somebody.
guys, don't worry. I
My
will be in
poor
your
mother
comments for you.
My
you.
poor mother called me yesterday because of the video that's blowing up, and she's like, "Please tell me you're not reading these." I go, "Mom, please, I'm not reading anything."
I have a person for that.
I have a person for
PR
that.
specialist.
Yeah.
I think my family thought that those comments were really getting to me because my mom's best friend went through a lot of my TikToks and will like highlight, like the highlight feature in
Oh,
your camera
no.
roll. She'll highlight the positive ones and send them to me.
Oh,
Wait, that's the
Like,
wait,
cutest
that
thing
is
I've
so
ever heard.
sweet.
I know, it's really nice.
How many did you
They've
send?
got
Like
me.
4?
Quite a few. I mean, they come all the time. It's very nice.
Wow.
How many have you sent?
Positive comments?
Yeah.
None.
None.
That's not really our
I don't look at
vibe.
it.
It's not really our vibe.
No, I
We
don't.
comment
You
each
guys
other.
are
I
just
don't
giggling
comment
about
other
the
people's.
mean ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the one, what was it, like 2 days ago, somebody commented like fatty fat something, but it like goes on.
Oh
and
my
it's
God!
on
Yeah,
yours.
complete lunatic.
I was laughing out loud.
I'll just screenshot their profile picture and comment back that.
Oh,
I just did that. I
Yeah.
love it's
so good.
incredible.
The
'Cause
one
they're always
thing-
so ugly.
Yeah.
Oh, the one thing I commented on is someone said something about my looks. I said, send a photo of yourself right now.
Yeah.
Or never comment again.
Yeah.
And he never responded.
No.
I was like, you won't. I know
Yeah.
you won't, you
Oh
fat
my
ass.
God.
Sorry.
So I've gotten comments like she's definitely gotten a chin procedure since the show.
What?
What?
Since the
haven't.
Or
show?
like I know I haven't,
Yeah.
but like
I know I
my
have.
God.
or like did she lose weight? Like what if I did?
and what if I did?
Yeah.
And what if I gained a
Could you
few?
be happy with
Like what? Leave
Yeah.
me alone.
Yeah.
There was one more. I gotta just say it before we move on. But this one person, I hate the like, "Are you a farmer?" stuff. So annoying. But somebody was like, huh? Somebody was like, "Why don't you go feed the cows?"
Oh.
And I responded, "Where's your plate?" I felt really good about that.
What
one.
a
Yeah.
response. Wait,
Bodied
that's
him.
iconic.
Bodied him.
Bodied.
Yeah.
Straight to the floor.
Straight to the
I actually hope someone
6 feet
asks
under.
me to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I really do. Just so I
I'll
can do
be
that.
bringing on
good.
John as a consultant in the comment section.
Oh man.
Yeah. The comments are like typically really funny, but then like there's always one that's like your insecurity. It's like shoot.
Yeah.
Like how did they find out?
How'd they get me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Someone,
like a
I don't know
little
what
kid.
it was my age. I was like, hey guys,
Yeah.
first of all, I look great.
Yeah.
You better fall off a cliff.
Yeah. Yeah. They were projecting, don't
It was
worry.
like the one thing I commented back to. I go, first of all,
Yeah. I spent a lot of money on my skincare.
yeah, first of all, I pay a lot of money for the skincare I use, you asshole. Send a photo of yourself back right now. Anyways. Okay, does someone want to take, we're going to do a little bit of the Samantha drama, if that's okay.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to take a moment here and actually end the episode because this has just been a lot of good information. We've decided to make it into a 2-part series.